Trump floats regime change in Iran's safe frame container CXP-1. Barack Ravid, Vice President J.D. Vance, President Donald Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Trump floats regime change in Iran's safe frame container CXP-1. Barack Ravid, Vice President J.D. Vance, President Donald Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth during an address to the nation in the East Room of the White House. Photographer Carlos Barria/Reuters/Bloomberg via Getty Images. President Trump floated the possibility of regime change in Iran on Sunday in a post to his Truth Social account. It's not politically correct to use the term regime change, but if the current Iranian regime is unable to make Iran great again, why wouldn't there be a regime change? MAGA, the president wrote. Why it matters. This is the first time Trump has raised the possibility of regime change in Iran since Israel launched its war 10 days ago, and the U.S. joined with airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear sites on Saturday. Trump has criticized the neoconservative faction of the Republican Party for years over their support for regime changes in Iraq, Iran, and other places around the world. Driving the news. The president's post is a departure from the rest of his administration, which has stressed multiple times over the last several days that its goal is to prevent Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons and that the U.S. is not pushing for regime change in Iran. Vice President Vance said on Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press that the administration's view has been very clear that we don't want a regime change. We do not want to protract this or build this out any more than it's already been built out. We want to end their nuclear program, and then we want to talk to the Iranians about a long-term settlement here, Vance said. Between the lines, an Iran regime change has become an unstated goal of the Israeli government since the war began earlier this month. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu even said it could be one of the results of the war. Yes, but there has been no significant uprising against the Iranian regime since the war began, and experts have mentioned a dynamic of rallying around the flag in Iran, even among Iranians who are critical of the regime. State of play. Trump also wrote on his Truth Social account on Sunday that the damage to the Iran nuclear sites targeted by U.S. airstrikes is said to be monumental and that the hits were hard and accurate. Trump said the B-2 bombers, who conducted the strikes in Iran, landed back in their base in Missouri after more than 36 hours in the air. Go deeper. It was a head fake inside Trump's